So I've been a WWE fan for the past 17 years now, and 2025 is an incredibly important year for me given that this is John Cena's farewell tour. And well, I've seen the entire Super Cena reign, and it makes me incredibly nostalgic and emotional knowing that we are coming to the end of his career. But the one thing that makes me feel that his retirement tour is incomplete is the absence, the conspicuous absence of one last match with who I think is his greatest rival of all time, Edge. Now, for the longest time, I thought that this was not going to happen given that Edge is in AEW. But recently, someone on social media pointed out that Edge's contract with AEW is ending this October. And that ignited hope inside my heart. And then, on further analysis, what I realized and what I did was I went through some of Cena's old interviews, and at the beginning of his tour, he spoke about how his greatest rivalries were with Randy Orton, CM Punk, and The Rock. And we all know that the only reason The Rock was mentioned and Edge wasn't was because Edge was in AEW. Because with all due respect to The Rock, and his rivalry with The Rock was great. I mean, it doesn't come close to his rivalry with Edge. I think we can all objectively agree with that. So the fact is, what makes things interesting is that recently John Cena was once again interviewed where he spoke about how Edge is one of his wrestling soulmates, which does represent a barometric shift from what he said a few months back. So it does give me reason to believe that we will see Edge in a WWE ring soon. Maybe not for a long-term contract, but one last match with John Cena. And how do I envision this happening? Cena issues an open challenge, and then you hear the "You Think You Know Me," which is accompanied by a thunderous pop, which culminates in a match which will have me jumping with joy, simply because I do think that Edge is John Cena's greatest rival of all time. And I don't say this because Edge is my favorite wrestler and John Cena is one of my favorites too. Even if I'm being objective, I think Edge versus John Cena, that rivalry was the greatest rivalry of both these wrestling stars, because it genuinely catapulted them into the upper echelons of wrestling history. So do not rule out that Edge versus John Cena match, and if it does indeed happen, remember that you heard it here.